Hi there. I have a question for you. What does it mean to accept the loss of your pet? Does the word acceptance activate many different emotions in you? Does acceptance mean that you are supposed to stop crying, put away your pet's belongings, or be ready to move on, whatever that means? Does it mean that you should feel less sad or that you are somehow leaving your pet behind? Not even close. Part of you may understand that your pet has passed away, while another part still expects to hear their paws on the floor or see them waiting by the door. Grief is not always black and white. There can be many gray areas, mixed emotions, and moments when acceptance and disbelief can exist side by side. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne Berg. I am a therapist and a certified grief educator. On this channel, I'm not here to tell you how you should feel or how you should grieve. My hope is to offer support, understanding, and a little clarity around what you may already be experiencing. And does this sound like you? Do you feel pressure to accept? Please stay tuned because this is the messiness of pet loss grief, or any grief for that matter, and it's often misunderstood by others. So you can feel alone, but you're not, but it feels that way sometimes. I have been there myself. It is so hard. Yet it may be possible to find some relief at different times during this whirlwind of emotions. I can help. I can work with who you are and where you feel ready to be and quotes accept. So today, I'm going to give you some context and then offer ideas on what may help. So I'm going to cover the fact that acceptance does not mean the loss was acceptable, the fact that grief does not follow a straight line, what acceptance may look like, a client experience from someone who wanted to share, what research helps us understand, and the gray areas of acceptance and what acceptance is not, and what may help you during this time. So today I'm going to explore these parts of acceptance after pet loss and why acceptance may not mean what you think it is. So let's go to the fact that acceptance does not mean that the loss was acceptable. The word acceptance can sound harsh. You may hear it and think, how could I ever accept that my pet is gone? You may never feel that the death was fair, timely, or quotes again, acceptable. You may still wish that the outcome had been different. Acceptance does not mean approving of what happened. It does not mean saying, this was okay, and I'm okay. It may simply mean gradually recognizing this happened, and I'm learning how to live with a reality that I did not choose. Those are two very different things. Now, grief does not follow a straight line. In the 6-stage model developed by psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and Dr. David Kessler, acceptance is described as one of the stages of grief. Her original work focused on people facing their own death, and the model was later widely applied to bereavement. Acceptance does not mean feeling happy about the loss, approving it, or no longer missing the one who died. It means beginning to recognize the reality of what has happened and learning gradually how to live within that changed reality it's tough. Acceptance is sometimes called one of the final stages, but grief does not unfold in a tidy sequence. Not at all. Kubler-Ross and Kessler emphasize that people may move back and forth among different emotional responses. The stages are not a checklist, so do not do that to yourself. A timetable or a measure of how well you are grieving. You may feel calm one morning and then overwhelmed that evening. You might laugh at a memory and then cry because your pet is not here to make another one. You may accept the reality of the death intellectually, while your emotions are still struggling to take it in. That does not mean you are going backwards or you're failing in your stages of grief. I hear that only too often. It means grief contains many gray areas. So what does acceptance look like? Well, acceptance may begin in very small and ordinary ways. It may be realizing that you no longer automatically reach for the leash at the usual walking time. It may mean learning how to come home to a quieter house. It may mean saying your pet's name without becoming overwhelmed every time, although you may still cry at other times. Acceptance may include having a peaceful day without feeling that you have betrayed your pet. Moments of relief, laughter, distraction, or enjoyment do not erase your love. In fact, you honor your pet in being okay. You may still miss your pet deeply while becoming more able to function in daily life. Both things can be true. Now, I'm going to share a client experience, of course, with their permission, but I'm going to call this client Mary, and I have changed identifying details to protect her privacy. Mary lost her senior dog, Charlie, after many years together. Several months after Charlie died, she told me, "I think I'm beginning to accept it, but it makes me feel guilty. Yesterday, I went several hours without crying, and then I thought, am I getting used to him being gone? It felt as if I was leaving him behind." We gently explored together what had actually changed. Mary had not forgotten Charlie. She still talked about him, kept his photograph nearby, and remembered the way he followed her from room to room. What had changed was that her mind and body were slowly adjusting to a home that no longer included his physical presence. Her love had not diminished. Her grief was simply becoming less overwhelming every moment of the day. Mary eventually described acceptance in her own words. "I am not accepting that it was okay for him to die. I am accepting that he lived, that he mattered, and I have to find a way to carry him with me." That became an important turning point for her. So what does research help us understand? Well, there's a dual process model of grief, suggesting that grieving people often move back and forth between focusing on the loss and attending to everyday life. After pet loss, this may look like spending time with photographs and memories one day, then focusing on errands, work, relationships, or rest the next. Taking a break from grief does not mean that you have stopped grieving. Research and clinical writing on continuing bonds also recognize that a healthy relationship with someone who has died does not disappear. The bond can continue in a different form through memories, stories, rituals, photographs, meaningful objects that you have, or qualities you carry forward. Research on companion animal bereavement also shows that pet loss can be deeply distressing, but it's sometimes minimized by other people. This is one reason why acceptance can be confusing. You may be trying to adjust to a major loss while receiving very little recognition or support. Now, there are so many gray areas of acceptance. And so you may accept one part of the loss while still struggling with another. Perhaps you understand that euthanasia prevented further suffering, but you still question whether you chose the right day. Perhaps you know that your pet was elderly or seriously ill, but the death still feels shocking and even sudden. Perhaps you are functioning well at work, while evenings at home remain extremely painful. Perhaps you are considering another pet. That's okay. But then you worry that doing so would be disloyal. You can hold more than one person or pet in your heart. These mixed feelings are not contradictions that must be solved immediately. Grief allows more than one truth. You can know that you made a compassionate decision and still wish you had been given more time. You can feel grateful for the years you had and devastated that they ended. You can begin to heal and continue to miss your pet at the same time. So, what acceptance is not? It's not a deadline. It's not a test that you pass. It's not proof that your grief is, quotes, finished. It is not forgetting, replacing, or moving away from your pet. And it does not require you to stop talking about them. Acceptance may simply mean that the reality of the loss is slowly becoming part of your life story, even though you never really wanted that reality. Now, I don't want you to grieve all the time. I want you to feel relief from this grieving, but it is a normal human process. So, what may help? Well, first and foremost, how do you get your feet planted on the ground so you can move on to other things while not forgetting your pet? Now, one good thing that I've always talked about is breathing. When you start to have those repetitive thoughts or are feeling guilty, it's sometimes good to step back and do simple breathing. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just breathe in and breathe out. It really does help you focus and take a step back momentarily. Please try not to pressure yourself to decide whether you have reached acceptance. There's no such thing. But you may be able to ask yourself a gentler question. What am I gradually becoming more able to live with? And also, you might think about what parts of this loss am I still trying to understand and process? What helps me remain connected to my pet, but in a comforting way? Can I allow myself one peaceful moment without interpreting it as disloyalty? Of course you can. But it takes time. Some people find it helpful to create a small, simple ritual, like writing a letter to their pet, going for a walk at the same time that you would walk your pet. Keep a meaningful object, or identify one quality from the relationship that you want to carry forward. There is no single correct way to do this, only your way, and doing this in your own time is key. And if you feel that you could use some individual support, And that's what I'm here for. It only takes one or even two sessions. So let's talk. I would welcome the opportunity to hear your story because I will meet you where you are at in your grief. You can contact me through my website to arrange an appointment, petlossandbereavement.com, and you simply click on Talk to Me. In closing, accepting the loss of your pet does not mean that the loss was acceptable. It does not mean that you are over it. And it does not mean that your pet matters less. Acceptance may mean slowly recognizing the reality of the loss while continuing to carry the love and the bond you shared. Grief is rarely black and white. And as we've talked about, there are many gray areas, and you're allowed to move at them at your own pace. Moving forward is not the same as leaving your pet behind. If you would like to learn more about other areas of pet loss grief, please watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. Please let me know in the comments, what does acceptance mean to you? And does the word feel comforting, confusing, or difficulty? Take care, and thank you for spending time with me. I'll see you next time.